12:42 to 12:43 p.m. on February the, I think, 5th, 2024. Systolic pressure 166, diastolic pressure 69, pulse rate 83. Kind of a high systolic pressure. In the state of Florida, two-party consent does not apply in any government or this one. Certainly not in my investigation. Presented under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, right to petition in a government building, also connected to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Namely, I wish to look up my voter information to first get my voter registration number, and to secondly, confirm that I remain in County District 3 as an elector thereof.
I didn't hear anything you said, sir. What do you believe?
I need to have my voter registration information looked up. The reason why is that I didn't think that we were on the schedule for an election in County District 4, being that that was in 2022. And ma'am, let me finish, under my right of petition. I don't know that when Robert Bender was appointed to Supervisor of Elections of this office, if that triggered a special election, because it's just odd to see the county commission thing on the 2024 cycle and not the 2026 cycle. Because I know that I have in the past been an elector in District 3. I do not know if I remain an elector in District 3. I want to see if I am an elector in District 3, because I have a federal case pending to try and get me on a federal ballot. In the case that ballot fails, in the event that case fails, I have a backup race, just like 2022 when I sought to run for election. Well, first I have a voter registration question. I want to look up. I want to make sure that I remain a registered elector in District 3. Absolutely. Get my license out. It's a license, not an ID, and it will remain a license. A reminder that this is not the time to have a discussion on federalism in the U.S. Constitution. That is cut-up license that I had to turn in to get my new license issued. That is bad picture, but good license. And that is a driver license, not Florida identification. And I will want my registration number as well.
On the vote by mail section of your record, I do show that you are already scheduled for...
Because I believe I'm in District 3, and if I remain in District 3, I'm going to redesignate a certain committee to end Chip Simmons' problems into that which I already have the qualifying fee for. And during the qualifying period, I will go ahead this time and scan the receipt and immediately email it to Court Byrd to avoid any problems. I'm not going to hold my breath when certain questions getting answered. I just know that if I were to win that primary, we immediately go to the 7-district county. That's what District 3 is. And then I'm likely to win. So let's see. County Commission, ECUA, and School Board District 3. Exactly what I thought. I would like to see a redesignation form. I'll be redesignating the pre-file for Sheriff Committee to where I'm not going to have any chance to raise a qualifying fee that would be higher than Congress or U.S. Senate at this time to what I have the fee for. And the fee is for ECUA District 3. In 2019, I applied for the vacancy of McCorvey. And I applied in a different party because I thought that the governor would not want to involve himself in what was not meant to be a district for him to appoint a successor, that I would use that as a springboard to run for a different office and at least get a paycheck. And then I stood aside in County District 2 for a diversity candidate who did not file. I no longer care when the law is ignored. So, yep. Let me see if this has my voter registration number. There it is. I want to redesignate from sheriff to ECUA District 3, and that will remain pat. If I qualify for the federal race, I will be in that race, but simply put, I think a lot of police harassment I've gotten is because I pre-filed against Chip Simmons. I'm withdrawing myself from that, and I'm letting anyone who wants to run against Chip on a primary in that handle that. Because my position is that Chip Simmons violated 104.11 of the Florida statutes when I tried to file something on Pam Childers. Because the ones...
Write your statement that you're redesignating?
Well, usually you check it on the form that it's let's see, refiling to change office would be that form. So I'll take that paperwork. I don't need a piece. I need the actual state forms. There's going to be no interference. I've got the $25. Someone wanted to get a smart mouth lesson. They didn't want to follow the law. This recording goes to court and it goes to the U.S. Attorney. Can I see my own paperwork?
I'm sorry?
Ma'am, can I please see my own paperwork for reference? State law requires you to designate a depository, but the thing is a lot of depositories want you to have so much depository money. So you have to raise it first. It matters that you designate it and that you have the intent. I'd like to see my entire file, please. I believe I can be provided that. Black pen on it.
I need to update my voter registration information, it's just down to show.
We have enough of those for the support members.
There's a clipboard on that table, if you want to get the clipboard and, fill it in, punch in, and
Okay.
then bring it back up here and I'll change your assets.
Okay.
You can do this, that's what you write, you try to do that.
This one?
Today is February the 5th. Grazie. February 5, 2024. Excellent. Phonetic spelling form, I think. That. Three files.
And it's our? Yep. It is. We did not expect that.
You need my driver's license.
I didn't understand. You're on the speakerphone, right? I can, be way off. That's better. Now I can hear you. No, it's Joanne. Joanne. Yes. Hold on just a moment. I'm trying to reach you, okay? Just a second.
All right, what is this statement form that says each candidate must file a statement with the qualifying officer within 10 days after the appointment of, if that's financial interests in the last several years,
No, that's something different. That's your statement of candidate, that's same as all the others you've done, it
Alright.
hasn't changed.
Right now, I'm not required by the IRS to report income. I wish I was, I'm just not, because my income is under $7,000 a year. Something I hope to change soon. But I expect county litigation at this time, truthfully. But I'm going to be declared having been legally right sometime after January 5th, 2025, to where I'll be entitled to pension per 772 and applying for full credit, but I won't have to do any work for it. And I'll let the voters decide on what they think about that. That's the old paperwork, and that is the new paperwork. I also put a phonetic spelling on there. On
Okay, you need to mark whichever one applies.
oh yeah, campaign treasurer, yes. Let's
Okay, thank you.
I'll put this in the to be a sanitized thing. I know I'll have to refill out the phonetic probably in June, but. And that's not a typo. I wrote Anderson as Anderson. That's just properly how to pronounce it. And those that need to understand that when they hear it on the phonetic ballot will understand it.
Primary or the repository
Yeah.
there, please.
Thank you much.
Because essentially I already have the
I'll come in and get your copies. Be right back.
Yep, I've already got my $25 sequestered, as it were. If I get in the other race, then I would go ahead and withdraw that as soon as
That's your qualifying.
the Secretary of State would presume I'm on the ballot. Otherwise, I'm doing this one. I understand District 3 rather well. I think they're considering going to a 7-member board while excluding someone anyway, so that's my response. Ugh. So that's going to be Byrd Road.
All right, here are your copies.
Grazie. When will it be updated on the site?
By 5 o'clock today.
Grazie. If Supervisor Bender ever wants to answer those questions that I posed to him that were copied to the Secretary of State, he's welcome to. Ultimately, I expect that if I'm legally right, I'll find out in 2025, and rather than get money, I'll just get a state pension and back pay. Because I've got someone on 772, and I would like to make one more statement orally about out-of-state process. If you get out-of-state process, and it has not had any adjudication of any kind in Florida, and someone has established Florida residency per the 14th Amendment, the out-of-state process is discounted. Because the 14th Amendment overturned Dred Scott v. Sanford. And it seems like someone wants to reinstate the Dred Scott decision. Not me, but that's the reality. 14th Amendment allows a U.S. citizen to establish their state of residency. And one thing you cannot do is try and prevent someone from being able to challenge something in a federal court. The only out-of-state process a state can normally accept, if there are no real contacts that a person has with the state, is criminal process, but even then, a person under criminal process has the right to have it looked at in federal court for Puerto Rico v. Branstad, and to get a federal court order first. I am going to take the streetway out, but that was like a stairway out here. Still recording. Still recording. So picked all that up. Me mumbling to myself, and I look crazy about why Bender was hired. But that's a good question, though, of why Bender was hired. Because of the damn holdup. And I see coins falling. The reason why I was talking to myself about Bender is I'm in the bathroom. I don't do that in front of people usually. To collect my thoughts. I usually used to do that in my car. Like a lot of people do. But it's the question of Sonia getting passed over, which I supported. It's a question of why. Because I had to notify them about state court decisions. I'll go ahead and that folder was forgotten. And that's why I'm in respect glad, because I see that man with the beard. I don't think that's Bender, but it occurs to me that usually whenever I've done paperwork here, I've been provided a red Supervisor of Elections folder, and for some reason I wasn't provided one. So, well, I mean, usually that's just a courtesy that gives, and it breaks the wonder, because it sounded like papers were ripping up. I know that was not my papers, because if that was my papers when I said that this tape was going to the Secretary of State, that would be 817-155. So I'm confident that my papers will be on the county site tonight. And I know Bender would do nothing untoward. Because if he tried, when I have lawyers in the federal government, and have to remind everyone once a day that my mother worked for Jeff Sessions, well, actually, I have to. I was talking to myself in the bathroom because I was in the bathroom. I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, because they'll make me try to make me look crazy. But I'm now exiting. I'd rather not step the way I'm exiting. So, walking down the street. I would just point out to Secretary Byrd that the sort of courtesy red folder was not provided to me. I had to go back and request it. That seems to demonstrate on the part of supervised election employees' lack of professionalism. But I informed them clearly. Out-of-state process is void in Florida. Well, only criminal process can be accepted. And that I established Florida residency on Jan 30, 2019, as I was constitutionally permitted to. The federal Constitution takes primacy under the Establishment Clause. And thusly now this tape, and I wish I hadn't mumbled to myself in the bathroom taking a pee, but this tape shall go to the court. But I just know I heard a ripping sound. I don't think they'd be stupid enough to rip up their forms. But go ahead and Secretary Byrd, I wonder if the refusal to give me a folder was deliberate, and if that was not a show of solidarity with Sonia Daniel. Again, you're not permitted to do that when you work in an elections office per the Voter Rights Act of 1965, and more importantly, right to petition government. Right to vote might be, that's questionable with right to petition. The important thing is that right is, yeah. They're still not getting the message that law is law. You cannot explain law to these people. I cited the statute 104.11, that is neglect of duty by officer. I am right every point legally. That is why, if I'm legally right in Pam Childers' case, I'm going to make sure I get my pension. I'm going to get something for all I've been through. Because so many torts were committed in this county, if I'm right, or if I'm wrong, to deter any looking into that. When I have a college degree, and where again the way I view it is that I negotiated pro se with Bruce Childers. I understand that there was an appearance of a lot of votes for Pam Childers. A lot of votes. But if she did not have the minimum valid signatures in, then she did not qualify. In prima facie, there's a lot of evidence that she did not qualify based on the fact that she's getting a bunch of $1,000 a pop contributions from Jacksonville. But I even said, and in retrospect, legally, maybe I shouldn't have, but it was my right as a pro se litigant, and I wasn't thinking in that way then. I was just understanding local opposition. Fully within the power of Bruce and Pam to not have that looked into, especially when you also have Woogate not looked into, and when Woo himself, it looks like, bowed out, that I would have taken a guaranteed admission to law school and a full ride. Something arrangeable, something that has happened in the annals of Florida politics before. I was treated with disrespect. I was treated with disrespect then. They knew I'm running a tape recorder, and they actually chose not to give me the folder. I'm glad I used the bathroom. Now, this tape is going to be public evidence and go to the U.S. Attorney. Because there was something fishy about not giving me that folder when I've always been given that folder before, when I'm the first person who's going to recognize that discrepancy. Now I'm going to cease this tape because I've got to do legal research after I run some other errands. And it says hold. And that's why I was caught mumbling to myself in the bathroom, because I'm nervous, because you can just sense the hostility coming off these people. You can sense the hostility coming off these people. And I'm being looked at by someone at Headhunters. These people have no class. You tell them law. You tell them law. It's like they want to be criminals when they don't like the law. So stated by Chase Anderson Romagnano, a.k.a. Andy Romagnano, known as CR in college. I can give so many signifiers, and I thought that putting it on the law license of Carlos Trujillo would be enough to be honesty. But if push comes to shove, even if Carlos Trujillo wanted to side with wrong, if it comes down to his disbarment, that's enough that it'll stop. And that's what it's going to come down to. The lawyers I put on there, I'm going to compel honesty, or they will be disbarred. That is my intent. Because I would never misuse my law license like that. I would always stick to the letter of ethics and the law, because I've gone through so much hell to try and get back to law school, but others would keep me from it.